While owning the system, you may come across either a damaged fitting or a part that needs replacement, which we offer replacement parts on our website. So I'm going to go into a little detail as to how to work around the system, how to move certain parts without taking apart too much, while getting a little familiar with the individual components of the system. So first and foremost, you may come across a situation where you might have to take all your assemblies and put them on a new frame. Perhaps it arrived damaged or there was an issue with the wheels. So in that case, we would send you a blank frame with just wheels. And you may ask yourself, how am I going to take all this and put it on the new frame? So simply first, you want to make sure you remove all your filters. Gives yourself a lot of room to work with. It's also very helpful to have a table. But if you're working in your garage, that's fine. So have our system laying down here, all our filters out, and we're going to take our housings off in a few simple steps. First and foremost, disconnect your hoses. You want to pull on the blue end of the push fitting while pulling opposite with the hose. Sometimes it requires a push in and a twist, and the hose will be disconnected. Now we're going to go ahead and remove the RO housing from the frame. And it's as simple as using either a size 13 or a 1/2 inch socket will do for removing these bolts. I'm going to go ahead and use my drill here. And the strap will come right out. Now, because we have our hoses disconnected, this housing is now free to remove. The brackets and bumpers that hold on the RO housings are held on with a size 11 millimeter bolt and nut. And on top, you'll find a 3/16 Allen key. Go ahead, do a quick swap. And always keep track of your hardware. And now all that's left is the DI pre-filter assembly, which may be an assembly that you have received that you may have to replace. So when removing this assembly, you'll want to make sure you start with the bottom bolt. Now this bottom bolt can't possibly come out on its own because the cap of the DI housing will prevent it from falling through. So it's your safest bet in loosening. So I'll take a size 11, snug it onto the nut, or rather snug it onto the head of the bolt, and we're going to loosen. So when I let go, this bolt isn't going anywhere. The top bolt of this assembly can fall through. So what I recommend, the opposite end, first we're going to seat, sometimes you need to use 2 fingers. You're going to seat the wrench onto the nut. When you feel a grip, go in with your drill, and you'll find it loose. Easiest way, grab onto the bolt and stand her up. If the bolt happens to fall into the assembly, don't fret. Sometimes all is required is a little bit of shaking or reaching your finger inside and pulling the bolt out. When reinstalling, you'll want to ensure that the bolt goes inside the bracket so that it can travel through the holes of the frame. So at this point, we are left with a blank frame. So now we're just going to put everything back together, starting with the DI pre-assembly. Now you'll notice I'm supporting this bolt with my finger on the inside. That way I do not lose it. Now you'll want this to go into the bottom holes of the center hole pattern here. And all you need to do is snug the top and let go. Reattach. Now on our frames, each bolt and nut is accompanied with a washer. So bear that in mind when replacing your hardware. On the Pure Plus, when you're going to tighten things down, you have to tighten down the DI pre-assembly before installing your RO housing, or you'll run into issues with tightening. So we're going to go ahead and tighten this back down. And we can go ahead and secure these brackets. Straighten them out if necessary. And then last but not least, the RO housing. You want to ensure that you have enough room for your bottom swivel 90 to be able to move around and not hit the bottom of your frame. So we'll drop that in. Replace our straps. And we'll tighten them down. Remember, these bolts are a size 13 or a half. Reconnect our hoses with a simple push. I like to do a push and twist just to ensure that the hose is in all the way. You want to make sure that hose is in nice and tight. And there you have it. We've successfully taken apart and put back together XERO Pure Plus.